Oh yeah, what
Hey,
level's your
Wally.
pally?
51.
Nice. I'm still trying to hit 50 myself. I think I'm a level 40 something.
My
Mechanist class is really interesting.
Gun.
classes right now in tanks are 50, 80, 50, or 51, 80, 51, 63.
Nice.
Neat.
All of them?
Post
Jeez.
another.
Yeah, I've played a lot of tank. I like tanking. It's my preferred if I can help it.
I'll
I
stick
love
to healing
tanking.
myself. The power of the white mage is nothing to scoff at.
Agreed.
Alright, welcome. Seems like both of our things are on. I assume that the audio is good because no changes have happened, but last time I assumed something was bad. So,
Assume nothing, sin.
assume
I'm on my
nothing,
way.
embrace everything.
I feel like you just went live.
Yeah. Ow. My arm.
Well,
So,
the way
I
Right.
wasn't ready. I was
my
making
phone just
cupcakes.
vibrated.
I wasn't ready. I was making cupcakes.
I'm making
you know, we're already
cupcakes,
late. So welcome
and
everybody.
nobody can.
Stop
Wow.
dying.
I refuse. I just ate one chunky ass burger.
That was a thick
and the
burger.
oil inside. Right. Goddamn. And the oils in it are still apparently lodged in my throat space.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Worth
we
it.
have
Worth
audio.
it.
Yay. Okay, so welcome everybody. Sorry for being a little bit late. Yes, that's the word. Late.
Frankie.
Oh yeah, hurry.
Ruh-roh.
But sorry, apologize for being a little bit late. We have been doing some stuff around the house today, so we weren't able to do it quite on time. Zero does not seem to be joining us today, but if he is going to be, he will be at some point. So we'll see how that is. So, last episode, you guys were with Akia and Sofinia, and they were, let's see, Mr. Torque threw Akia through a window because he could. He went to go see Octopus Lady. It was technically a good day off. You guys spent your time doing a bunch of random things. I assume Dollhouse spent most of the day recovering.
We got our nails did.
Yeah, I think Dollhouse spent most of the day recovering, and then I'm trying to remember everyone in here. I apologize. Tanya probably talked to the principal. Mr. Torque decided to go and visit Octopus Lady, and Sophia and Akia had a very good time just having a girls' day out, and also, you know, Akia going to therapy. So that's fun. If you guys want to see what happened there, check out the 12th episode. Quite a lot of fun that we had there. And yeah, so the day passed. Everything kind of went more or less properly. Dollhouse is in a wheelchair at the moment, but at least he can move. Not well, and he can't see, and his insides are still bruised.
I thought he could see. I healed his eyes.
Oh yeah, all right. You healed one of his eyes, to a point. So he can see, kind of, out of one eye. Not very well, but it's better than what he had before. Before it was looked like he put an eyeball through a meat grinder. Yeah, I'll let you have that idea in your head.
It's actually very wet and moist, so you're really just going to get a pseudo fluid that's going to come out that's a bit thicker than water. You're really just getting thick juice. Thick water, guys. It's thick water.
It's thick. That's how they make the thick water that they sell in retail stores.
That's okay. That's unpleasant for me to think. But okay, so the next day came about, and you guys are all at Mugen Academy, because I still don't have a proper school picture, because there are very few proper school pictures. We're instead just going to use the classroom, because this is what I think of when I think of school, for some reason. I assume that's how a lot of people think of school as well. It's just one classroom, that's just repurposed over and over again. Banger. So, you guys have a lot of folks in here. Mr. Torque is also in here because he can be. On a moment. I knew I didn't get rid of them for a reason. Let's see. Kane's not in here. Sophia. Oops. Alright, Ron's not in here. Place him with that. And then add in Yuki's character. Mr. Torque is here. You guys will also notice that there's a lot fewer people in... Are you seriously not loading my freaking character? Oh my god. Could you just... Sir, I need these tokens. Thank you. My god. Okay. Yeah, so there are a lot fewer people. As you guys can see here, there's only 7 or so of your previous classmates, which there were originally 10, I think. The monkey dude is sitting there looking friggin' smug as a motherfucker at the moment. He does not seem to have much of a care in the world. The rest of the classmates looks like they're very somber. But the principal and Iku, which I won't call him... had a name for him a long time ago, but I'm just going to call him Iku for now. As well as Tanya's in the room as well. Sophia, that, and then Dollhouse is also somewhere up here as well. Boop. There you go. I'll put you right there. Alright. Imagine he's just in a wheelchair. You know what? Let me draw a wheelchair for him.
Please don't.
You know you can't stop him.
Yeah, he's already decided.
There we go.
Amazing. 10 out of 10.
I don't want to turn around and see what's on my screen right now.
It is the best wheelchair that has ever been created. Thank you very much. I love you all. Thank you. Anyway, so he's inside of his weird-ass wheelchair at the moment. Akia, Mr. Torque. Mr. Torque is just kind of sitting there, looking kind of bored, and he's kind of looking kind of around. He's trying to find something to entertain himself with, but nothing too much. Tanya's right here. You guys are right here. I assume that you guys are just kind of in a sad mood at the moment, as the other students there. And the principal, whose name was Dokua, I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah, Dokua. Yeah. He stands up and he gestures to all of you. Thank you all for being here. Obviously today is another school day, but we're going to be having a half-day today. For today is the funeral rites of Washi. Many of you did not know him for very long. In fact, not many of us did. But he is what one would aspire to be in terms of a hero. One who sought to protect all those around him to the best of his ability, and one that we lost far too soon. Would anybody like to say something about Mr. Washi?
Craziest son of a gun I've ever met. That's a good thing, by the way, to all of you. As Dollhouse is very much not moving any part of his body.
He is done fucked though.
Yeah, poor boy.
Yeah. He looks kind of like he got hit by a train, which is better than he looked like before. Before he looked like the train suplexed him, and then hit him again. Now he just looks like a train ran him over. But he does not look good. He looks at...
Sorry, go ahead, Sin.
Yeah, he looks at Akia. Miss Akia, do you have anything you like to say about Washi? You seem to have known him for longer than many of the others.
I didn't prepare anything. Hold on.
Well, she thinks
Hmm?
a teacher takes every opportunity to teach his students.
Hmm.
He was a hero, and he's what any of you should strive to be. Do not take my words out of context, however. Killing yourself is not what a hero would do. However, a hero will, without hesitation, risk his life in the means of death, regardless. Keep your heads wrapped around this at all times. As Dollhouse takes string to lift up his arm with one finger, one very important point to never forget. You were not there for your own life, you were there for everyone else's. And that could mean costing yours.
Risa nods and says, "It is good to be prepared for every situation, and there are some situations you simply cannot make out of, unfortunately. But he did save many more than he may realize. And I think that's something all heroes should strive to do. Save as many as you can. And know that you did good. Aki and Safina, would you two like to say anything, or?
Yeah, I'll say something. He was, ouch. He was the best high five buddy that anyone could ever ask for. He went out of his way to think about others and come up with plans based around others' quirks. He was smart about what he did, and that's something we should all strive to be.
Well said.
Sophina crosses her fingers in her lap and just softly says, "Shame that I didn't get to know him any better, but I'll miss him."
The teacher nods and he looks at the rest. The rest of you may not have known him very well. Many of you were not very close to him. But, like any proper hero, it's good to pay respects, even if you did not know them very well. A true hero is known by those around them, by the ones who care for them, as well as the ones who go out of their way to wish them well. Many of us have family, loved ones that we care for deeply and severely. And his ones we will attempt to get into contact with. If any of you know also who he was close to or have any info on his family, do let us know. He was a very secretive person, which is to be expected in the line of work.
He did mention that to Dollhouse that he had a cousin in a chop shop.
Yeah, he did.
Which Dollhouse would have relayed to other people. Not the chop shop part, but that he did have a cousin, because he does respect Washington to some degree.
Right. He, to the best of our knowledge, the only family member that we were told about was his cousin. So we shall do our best to find him and have our respects paid in full. Now then, on to proper business as well, as we wish to train you to make sure that you all are able to defend yourselves to the best of your ability, especially in times like these. Unfortunately, danger is around many corners, and we wish to prepare you as best as we can. Doku says this with a very solemn look on his face. He is very, you would say, depressed at the moment, just looking at him. He does not look in a good mood. Because Dollhouse has sustained extreme injuries, he gestures to Dollhouse's fucking everything.
Don't worry, I can still lift a finger, I think, and an arm. So far.
Yes. Dollhouse is unfortunately unable to train you in terms of physical abilities as of the moment. As such, we have a substitute teacher for now, which is Miss Tanya. He gestures to Tanya.
Okay, I'm gonna break this so hard real quick, and I'm sorry. You see Dollhouse's, face turn into, a cheeky grin as he slowly turns his head as best he can towards Tanya. I told you so! As loud as he can.
What is happening? I missed this.
For context, children, he said that I would be employed as a teacher here. I told him he was wrong about that fact. I acknowledge that I was wrong. I will accept that. Dollhouse, if you bring it up again, then I will heal every wound so I can put you back in the fucking wheelchair.
You see Dollhouse's smugness continues as his head slowly turns. I was right. Yeah. Look, it's the tiny victories that are gonna keep me positive here. I can't move my bones.
Dokuo just kind of
You're lucky
shakes
that I
his
am
head.
above beating cripples.
You're lucky I'm a cripple. I'd be running otherwise.
Okay.
Dokuo shakes his head with a very small smile on his face. Right. So Miss Tanya here will be teaching you all about self-defense for the most part, as that seems to be a very needed aspect at the moment. She'll also be teaching you ways to get out of potentially life-threatening situations. As is a very good lesson to learn, not every situation can you fight, and some situations it's best to run rather than stay. As such, for now, we're going to have a very short lesson about some basic safety precautions, and after that, we will perform the actual burial for Mr. Washi, and you're all welcome to either spend the day here, continue to train under Tanya, or go to your houses to verify with your parents on whether or not they wish to keep you here. Several of our students so far have been pulled out, as you can see. He gestures to the somewhat empty classroom. Unfortunately, because of circumstances, they have been pulled out, and unfortunately, many hero schools around the country have also had this been happening. I wish you the best of luck for what will be happening, and if you ever spot something potentially dangerous, please bring up to one of your teachers as soon as possible. Be wary and be safe. He stands up before walking pretty much out of the room. Boop. And Iku just kind of stands there. Well, you're at the man Tanya. What advice do you have for self-defense?
Simple. We're going to go outside, and you're going to defend yourselves.
Oh shit.
Oh goodness.
Alright, well, self-defense is. He stands
I
up
don't know
and...
what Dollhouse has been teaching you, but frankly, you're not going to get a better example of overwhelming power than standing in front of me.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not exactly the state of overwhelming power even before I was in a wheelchair.
Yes, and you're not standing in front of anyone.
I could float in front of you, though it'd be extremely painful.
Yeah, I'm sure it would.
We're gonna have a great
Alright.
working relationship. You have the sarcasm of me.
I'll try not to take offense to that statement. Everyone, follow me.
God. Alright. So... let's see if I can move people over after I figure out who was still here. You're not here. Are you here? You're not here. And you're here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plus you. And not you, but plus you. Nope. Plus you. Yep. And then also not you. So just you. Alright. Sorry, I have a difficulty with people. Boop.
What else is new?
Life. You also do notice Ko, although she is also in a chair at the moment, although her injuries do not seem even close to as bad as Dollhouse, is up on the top right here. They are watching over the crowd at the moment, kind of like seeing in the background. And then all your other students are right here. The monkey boy seems to be kind of hopping in place, snacking on some more food as Risa is looking over the general area, her eyes flickering quite a lot. I'm assuming you two are with the group, or are you kind of aside from the group?
We're a little bit aside, but
But we're not antisocial.
that's a fucking line. You know it.
What do you mean? That's your character.
Good. Alright. So you guys are standing a little bit to the side of the group. Spider Lady is knitting at the moment. She's just kind of leaning back and knitting with her own spider webs, which is real weird to see, but she's like super pumped up and hype. The barkeep girl just kind of walks forwards as she cracks her knuckles. So how we gonna do this, huh?
Oh, good. I was worried I'd have to ask for volunteers.
As Dollhouse screams from the things. Actually, most of them are quite eager.
I step up.
I do not.
Okay. And
She nods. All
Reese is
right.
also gonna step up.
We've got 3.
Who am I missing?
That's probably the best simulation.
You,
3 heroes all together to face off against 1 villain.
you.
Now, I will be your villain for the evening. Please take care of me, she says, giving a small bow before summoning the 7-foot-tall flaming great hammer into her right hand, hefting it over her shoulder.
Yeah. Risa immediately, her eyes flicker back and forth as she's scanning you at the moment. Barking Girl, her immediate reply is extremely simple. So she starts to shout and run forwards as fast as she possibly can, snapping her iron jaws.
Oh god.
She looks like a ravenous wolf that is about to chomp down on your arm and potentially rip it off.
Sin, can you grant me control of Tanya?
Yes, on.
Aki's gonna try and encase her in the crystal.
There you go. You have control. Okay, roll dexterity for me. Nuke.
Me?
Yeah, roll dexterity for me.
Roll dexterity for...
I thought you were talking to
Oh.
Kane. Sorry.
No.
Dexterity. Where did you go, my friend? There you are.
Cool.
Attach.
7.
That's pretty bad.
Let's go with a +3 here. She easily dodges out of the way of your thing, just pretty much hopping over the area as you entrap where she used to be in what's the word called? Quartz crystals. As she hops over it, Risa immediately replies, "Hold back! We don't know her abilities." She doesn't fucking care. She is.
So what?
She is.
So how strong would you say her teeth are?
Probably stronger, like, I would probably say they could rip through metal with ease.
Okay. How strong are the muscles surrounding her jaw? Particularly the one that controls the area involving the movement upward and downward, that patch of musculature.
I would probably say as
Oh.
strong as a snapping turtle. One of those things with heart sharp beaks and whatnot. She has like alligator strength of like snapping ability.
Okie doke. So she's just running straight at her?
No, there's no planning here. There's just she's running headfirst into battle.
Yeah.
Both of her teammates are in the back. One of them tried to pull her back, but yeah.
Does she appropriately dodge as a right straight goes right into her face?
Oof. Let's see. +3. She does, actually. She
Okay.
manages to dodge and
Tanya
snap
does not
her.
pull- yeah.
Huh?
Tanya does not pull her arm back in order to avoid the incoming attack.
Yeah, she snaps her jaw onto Tanya's arm, possibly with the full intention to rip it off.
So she bites down hard. She rips in, and you can see blood beginning to drip down from her arm.
Mm-hmm.
Before there's a slight shift as what's the name of the girl who just bit?
Her name is set to Samaru.
Solmaru?
Um,
Suetsumu Sakayama. Okay. So you're just going to say, all right, Sakayama, congratulations. You landed one hit before your life was terminated. As in her other hand, you see her draw out a pistol.
Oh my god.
You're dead.
Can I encase the pistol?
You can certainly try.
I will definitely try. Dexterity?
Yep.
God, what is with my fucking rolls tonight?
Yeah. As the crystal starts to manifest, rather than appropriately manifesting, it seems to almost get its stunted growth as a slight light begins to emanate from the gun.
Fuck.
Nice try. But unfortunately, you failed to save your teammate twice. Still, good effort. She then looks to Risa.
Mhm.
What's your quirk, kid?
X-ray vision. I can change mainly the depth of X-ray that I can see within your body. I can see from your bones and skeletal structure, all the way to muscular structure, all the way to your flesh.
All right. Is that literal X-rays? Because if so, I'd be concerned about aiming that towards your comrades.
I actually don't know if it's actual X-rays.
Get that checked out before you go accidentally irradiating your team.
She nods.
Sakayama, your teeth are strong. You know what isn't?
She
She's
looks
just
at
gonna
you
shift.
before
She's gonna shift forward
chomping
and
her mouth out.
Yeah, she's going to just flick, but you know her strength.
Mhm.
Flick her right in the trachea.
Oh!
Oh no.
She immediately unclenches her jaw from her arm, which, yeah, that sucker dug deep.
Would you consider her stunned at all?
Oh yeah, just 100%.
Yeah.
Is
So
there a way that
Tanya's
I
just
can
going to
drag
sweep.
Sakayama back?
You can try another dexterity roll.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Like,
try to drag Sakayama back with my crystal.
Okie dokie. By the way, there's some echo between you and Sophia. Hey, you're able to drag her somewhat back before she gets swept literally off her feet.
Yeah. We'll say that like the kick took her legs out from under her, but then the crystal was able to form under her and kind of dragged her back.
Kind of like a slip and slide. Wee.
It's a chair.
All right. You've lost one member of your team. Sakayama, sit the rest of the fight out. Anyone want to sub in for her?
She growls and spits to the side before walking off.
Yes, I know. I'm fucking delicious.
You know what? Let's go with Monkey. The monkey walks up. His name being this.
Namida Mashira.
Yeah, Namina.
Or is it Mashira?
Yeah, Namina walks
I'm
up,
sure.
his tail slapping the ground before before he stands up, he actually puts down his ramen cup he's been nursing this entire time before walking forwards, arms crossed. I think
Tail
I'll
off the
sub him.
ground.
Hmm?
Don't alert don't tail off the ground. If you make it a habit, you'll alert enemies to your presence as a matter of accident.
His tail moves up to his neck. He is
All right.
amazingly prehensile.
Risa, you seem good for scouting. What have you been able to determine about my body?
Let's see. Let me roll 1d20 with a +4. Ooh, 19.
All right. From muscles to bones, the density of her body is frankly absurd. She probably weighs an incredible amount, but has durability to the point that only a small amounts of the muscular tissue got torn through by Sakayama's jaws.
Jesus.
Not only that, she can see that it's actively stitching itself back together in real time. The bleeding has already stopped, and the only reason that others can't see it is because the blood is still on her arm from when it was first punctured.
Risa raises her eyes in kind of surprise. Your muscle density is unfathomable. Your endurance is obscene. How are you stitching yourself back together?
My quirk is complicated. You could call it a multi-purpose quirk. The most notable ability of it is hyper-enhanced adaptability of biology. In other words, the more you hurt me, the stronger that I'll end up becoming. It also allows me an understanding of localized biology. if I touch you, I can understand your body as well as I understand mine. Makes
She
good
switches
purpose
her
for
eyes
someone like me.
again to look at the bone structure of Tanya.
It's also incredibly dense.
She switches
Almost,
back to her normal.
it would be kind of similar in principle to the difference would be like a normal person's bones are, pretty tough. But if you look at a professional fighter's bones, they are considerably tougher in some cases. I think Muay Thai is notable for kicking trees in order to increase bone density as a result of the repair process. And yeah, hers are also absurdly thick.
I'm gonna roll again with the 1d20 plus 4. That's
12.
not that bad. That's not that good. Would you be able to see any pressure points in the muscular structure? Nerve centers and
She
stuff?
carries a lot of tension in her body, but the nerve clusters and the like, they're all placed in the normal locations for any human.
So to beat you, we can't rely on raw strength. Monkey Boy, how good are you at pressure point dexterity? He looks at his tail. And he looks back at her. I can swing. Lisa shakes her head slightly and looks at Akia. Akia, I believe your name was. How good are you with specific formation of crystals to accurately acupuncture a person's nervous system in order to knock them down?
I form a needle in my hand out of crystal. Just tell me where to throw it.
Tanya pauses slightly, looking over her shoulder. Who's the person standing in the back of the room?
These two?
On the far left.
Oh, on the far. Oh, that's Iku.
Iku?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Diana's going to look over her shoulder and say, "Hey, so, what's the limits on the amount of carnage we're allowed to show the kids? Not deal to the kids, but like, how much damage am I allowed to achieve in front of them?"
To yourself, or?
Sure. Let's go with that.
They will likely see quite a bit of horrors in the future, but I would say tone it down just a bit. We don't want to scar them mentally before they even get out on their first real mission. Well, most of them.
Okay.
They've seen pictures of
small.
Jack's victims as a way for them to understand the danger they were presenting themselves to. We immediately, if possible, show them the ability to understand the actual dangers of the work they're deciding to go into and give them easy opt-outs in the early stages due to our showing them of very visceral things. Jack was a unique case because actively heroes were being put against it, like me, in the time, even with students having to be with us.
All right. Akia, right?
Yeah.
Okay. See that you pulled out a bladed implement. An important question. If you throw that at me, will I bleed?
Probably.
Can...
It's more of a needle. Since it's more of a needle, it'll go in your skin and you won't necessarily bleed unless you try to pull it out or move too much.
Okay. Now, amongst the three of you, who feels most comfortable coming at me with the intent to kill?
Monkey Boy immediately raises his hand.
2 out of 3. I don't know whether to be impressed or concerned.
Risa, like, kind of steps back slightly at that.
Don't hesitate so much. Accept the willingness to kill, just curb it whenever you can. Our purpose isn't as killers, but if you're not willing to strike in such a way that you leave permanent damage, you'll turn out like that other poor kid.
Let's see. I'm very curious.
This time she's been talking, I've just been slowly making more and more needles just at my side so that way I can throw them out there when Risa tells me to.
Risa started
crosses the middle line of the room.
Monkey Boy starts slowly approaching as well.
All right. Now, when you launch your attack, unlike the last round, I'm going to retaliate. Be prepared to defend yourself. Do you understand?
Monk Boy nods. Yep, so in other words, don't get hit by you if at all possible.
Yeah. Your concern today is survival. Keep me distracted. Treat the other 5 in the background as though they were civilians. Preserve their safety, preserve your own safety, and keep in mind the fact that if the carnage is enough, you'll attract pro heroes to help assist you. Live long enough, and someone might come around to save your ass to give you an even longer life than that.
As she's talking, Akia, you can see Risa's eyes switching over again, back to muscular eye saying, which you notice is starting to make her, the muscles around her eyes actually twitch slightly. She's using her quirk quite a bit without, she's probably been using a lot, but yeah, at the moment it seems to twitch slightly. Her body is set up almost identically to most people.
Don't use your quirk too much.
I'm fine.
It is worth noting, she
They
left
use-
behind her great hammer is currently standing on its own in the room, over where
Oh,
that red
great.
square is. It is not
Alright.
wedged into the ground, it's just standing.
Risa
Alright.
smiles softly at Akia. It's fine. I've been using it a bit lately, but I should be good for today.
Alright.
Her body's set up like almost every individual in this room. Do you know pressure points?
The basic ones, yes.
Okay. She moves over to you and starts tapping her fingers against very specific points on your body. If you hit these pressure points with your sunbone, with your needle, they should, in theory, cause her to be unable to move certain sections of her body. You notice that she is tapping several sections of you really quickly, but she keeps hitting them multiple times so that you're able to focus on them quite a bit. You're fairly certain she's done this to herself on more occasions than you count, because she's not even looking at you as she does this. She's tracing out the other person's pattern on you.
I'm gonna start aiming for those and throw them with as much speed as I can to hit them as quickly as possible.
Okay, roll me a dexterity, as Monkey Boy is now kind of almost dancing around Tanya, keeping her at a distance. Ooh la la.
She does take a slight step to the side, but doesn't seem too intent on dodging, as they do end up impacting. However, several of them end up bouncing clean off. A couple of them shatter, though you do note that in one case, it sinks a solid 3 inches into her shoulder, directly into one of the nerve junctions. You can watch her click her teeth sharply and inhale as her left arm goes limp.
Risa's staring at this intently. Monkey, move right. As he immediately jumps to the right. Your left shoulder, you said?
Yes.
So he's
So,
now
the
circling
one on
around
this
your
side.
left side.
Okay. So she then responds by launching an attack.
Okay.
Her back foot pretty much explodes off of the ground as her right
God
immediately. She pivots on it, rotating, roundhouse kicking directly in front of where the monkey currently is.
Okay. Let's go
Can
with a
I
+5 to this.
can I make the
Oops, that is
crystal
5
I
then.
defend on? Jesus.
Yeah, you're supposed to do 1d20 plus 5, not 5d20.
Yeah. So that's a
Can I
21.
make the crystal start growing across her back and start trying to immobilize her in the crystal, since it
Ooh.
did sink deep?
Yeah, it could, in theory, start trying to gain mass from her blood that's seeping out and start growing itself over the back of her arm.
It turns into a blood red color, yeah.
Yeah. As the monkey is keeping her at a distance, as she's pretty much throwing herself towards him, he's dancing backwards and dodging her ability very, very well. Using his tail is a very good.
Tanya does call out a pretty important thing. She says, "All right, defend the civilians," before she immediately launches another kick towards Risa and the rest of the group. As you note that a
throw
cloud of
a
flame
crystal
surges
wall.
out.
Oh,
I throw
Okay.
the crystal wall.
The
And
the
I
flames,
react.
the flames impact uselessly against the crystal wall as Diana nods. Good.
The monkey, as you throw the kick, 1d20 plus 4, alright, immediately surges to hit you right in the lower side. He was keeping an eye on Risa earlier as well, so he immediately goes for one under your rib, a nerve cluster under there.
Okay.
With a sharp
with a +4,
jab.
that impacts. Roll 1d6.
Yeah, okay.
She will. Let's see. She's also got to roll 1d6.
Not a very good roll.
She rolls a 6, so it doesn't even matter.
Oh my god.
She bats his hand away effortlessly with the other hand as a burst of red light explodes out from the both of them, launching him backwards.
Oof.
Some individuals have defensive quirks. That is an example of a replication of one. Impacting against the target can sometimes result in an explosive burst. One example is a student that recently appeared in UA. I've been keeping an eye on a couple of the staffing. He's the ability to detonate his sweat.
Oh my god.
If you get too close, that's his name. If you get too close, he could detonate his skin before you even make impact, damaging you more than him. Watch out.
How much Crystal has covered her skin at this point?
It's probably expanding outwards, though.
Yep.
She does raise her fist and slam into the wound. Not only does it reverberate heavily, the majority of it shatters and crumbles down, though the needle itself is still embedded. You could restart the progress, but you'd have to restart.
Risa immediately taps Akia's leg, where a nerve center is, specifically her right leg.
Alright, I throw a Senbon there.
Roll dex.
Okay.
Nice.
Wait, one S6. My apologies. 3. Okay. So an 18 does end up sinking in. Though you note it doesn't sink in as deeply this time, as you note, thanks to her rather tight-fitting pants, she tenses up the musculature around her thigh first, and you don't make it through all of the muscle. Unable to reach the nerve cluster.
Can I try something?
Are you going to grow its length inside of her?
Yeah.
Oh god.
But
Feel
before I
free.
do that, I'm going to shout at her. How much damage can we do to you before it's considered too much?
How many RPGs have you fired in your life?
Alright, fair. I start growing the needle.
Yeah. You clearly see her wince as it happens before she reaches down, grasps it firmly, and rips the entire thing out.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't even say how she was gonna grow it longer yet, so... Is she still gonna do that? Because I was gonna make it barbed.
Go ahead, make it barbed.
Oh,
You're good,
no!
too.
As she rips it out, you can see chunks of her thigh meat come with it as she casually throws it down.
Even
Though,
the monkey
as
boy
you watch-
winces at those.
Yeah. It then begins to steel itself up. There are some individuals who have a quirk that allows them increased durability. Another
Before
member of
it heals,
UA
can I
has
throw
that.
another one in?
You can certainly try.
You
I'm
see
gonna
Risa
try.
focusing like intently on your body as her eye starts to twitch again. She closes her
12.
right eye.
That ain't high enough.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Sima,
Risa,
Tanya ends up kind of snapping her fingers as a gold flame engulfs the needle mid-flight.
Risa closes her right eye as she's watching. Her breathing starting to change slightly.
If you're
I-
exhausting yourself, quit it, switch out.
She switches back to her normal eyes, and Akia, from your distance, you can actually see that her eyes are moving constantly over her body, as if trying to read her muscle movements.
Risa, just switch
Yeah.
out. It's fine.
No, she did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sakayama, did you learn the lesson?
Oh god, pulls out a grenade. Sakayama was this dude, right? No.
Sakayama is teeth.
Down here.
Teeth. Teeth.
The metal
She looks up as she's just leaning on the back. Don't bite people without thinking first?
Don't engage the target without an understanding of their abilities, but that is factually correct. All right, get back in the fight.
She sighs and starts walking over to the side, keeping her arms up in a martial arts stance now.
Spider Girl, supplement. Monkey Man,
Yes.
dip.
He starts walk back. By the way, Zero, just so you are aware of what's going on at the moment, basically they're doing a self-defense kind of lesson at the moment, switching out people and seeing who can fight in which place. She currently has a needle shoved into her arm, which is making her unable to use that. She's tired. She's thrown a couple of needles at the moment, and she launched into her arm and managed to tear a bit into it, and then got pretty much knocked out. But yeah. Okay. You still there,
Now.
Zero?
Current
Okay, cool.
current team composition is Akia, Spider-Girl, Sakayama. Spider-Girl, name, now.
Spy Girl's name is. Let me move back over here. Minoko.
Minoko? What's her last name? Kumoto. Alright.
Minoko.
Alright. Kumoto.
Kumoto. Minoko.
Alright. Your
Minoko.
quirk, spider physiology.
Hmm.
Reasonable. Sakayama, you've got very durable teeth. Akia, you have the most powerful quirk in the current group. Your ability is multi-purpose. You've displayed an ability to adapt it for both increased speed and movement, in addition to using it as an attack, sinking it in and growing it out, targeting nerve locations. All very good, but be careful. Targeting nerve clusters like that with barbed weaponry? If I weren't already a fan-fucking-tastic healer, you'd risk crippling your target completely, which might not be your goal.
Crippling them means they can't run away, which means they can go to fucking jail.
Yes. However, it also opens you up to lawsuits regarding excessive violence for the purpose. Remember that as a hero, your actions reflect the industry that you are a part of, the school that raised you. Not only that, you need to maintain popularity to be even considered as a proper hero.
Mhm.
Otherwise, who's going to trust or believe in you when the time comes?
Spider Lady immediately
Also turn it
shoots
into
a
dust and
web
pull
to the
it
ceiling.
style.
Hmm?
I can also turn my barbed weaponry into dust and pull it out that way so it doesn't leave lasting damage.
True. Be careful. Leaving too much dust in there can result in all sort of complications in the body. Removing it in its powderized state might be possible, but if you're not careful and you leave some fragments inside in the form of particulate, it can lead to long-standing medical issues in the future as that particulate is passed through the bloodstream, particularly if enhanced healing is applied to heal them quickly and suddenly.
Spider Lady immediately
Alright.
shoots a web to the ceiling and starts hanging up upside down as she starts filling around with stuff. I don't actually know her ability super well. Well, a few times that Muchi would her knowledge would be wonderful here, but okay, I'll do what I can. Okay.
All right. Grit your teeth and dodge.
Oh shit.
She immediately does.
Can I
1d20
make the
plus
floor underneath
3.
Tanya solid glass? Or not glass, but
Yes.
like solid crystal to make it slippery?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, so that's a 14.
Right now, she's... Okay. And roll dex for the ability to do that versus her speed in order to account for... She is
Ooh.
able to account for it, as once it becomes slippery, she drives her foot down so solidly she crunches through the crystal
Oh my god.
and a chunk of the floor, cratering it, as she then proceeds to launch her right straight.
Mm-hmm. It
Alright.
barely slides along the oh Jesus. Okay, never mind. Yeah, she attempted to dodge, but correction means that's a fist to the face.
Since she
Actually, Tanya
crunched down through-
Tanya does hold back just a bit, pulling slightly away as it only barely grazes Sakayama's face,
Oof.
though the amount of force is significant enough that all that Sakayama can hear for a moment is the air rushing to occupy the space that her fist had been
Jesus.
before the shockwave of the impact causes her to go stumbling backwards.
Mhm.
There is a now cut along Sakayama's face where Tanya's knuckle had lightly grazed the skin.
God. What are you saying, Akio?
I'm gonna, since she crunched through the crystal,
Mhm.
I'm gonna start growing it up her leg to immobilize her.
Ooh, smart. As you do that, Sakayama is going to attempt 1d20 plus 4. Attempt and fail to get her balance back to do a retaliation strike, and
Unfortunately, crystal is still in the way.
yeah, so
Chunks of
she
it went
attempts to
flying.
regain her balance, and her foot lands on the crystal and slides before her entire body hits the floor with a resounding thunk. Not
Tanya
a pleasant
sighs.
thunk.
Footing is everything. Speaking of, she does look down to her leg as the crystal begins to encroach up it.
As the thing is going up and as she looks down, Spider Lady immediately launches extremely durable web around her arms and then around her neck as well as she pulls it, doing a double trap, keeping her slightly off balance as she looks down at her feet.
As in launching webbing onto Tanya?
Yeah, and then pulling her slightly. So as she looks down, her balance is then tilted to the side.
As
Question.
it impacts...
So that goes, as the crystal is growing, it has little needles on it as it's growing, so you can't just yank your leg out because it's got the needles to hold on as it grows.
Oof.
Yeah. As Kumoto
they're
pulls
not.
Tanya with that, there is a moment's hesitation before Tanya lets herself be pulled forward, ripping the leg up anyway as her clothes and skin get shredded, as she then starts walking towards Akia,
Oh,
leaving
God.
behind bloody footprints from one foot.
Jesus Christ. You notice the string starts to kind of increase in volume as more and more starts to feed down towards you and starts pretty much weaving itself to make it very, very, very strong, almost like steel
Should
as
have
it
been paying
weaves.
closer attention, Kumoto. As she snaps her fingers and that golden flame erupts along the entirety of the web, beginning to quickly crawl all the way back to Kumoto.
Oh,
She doesn't
whoops,
sever
nope.
the thread.
Yeah, she immediately severs the thing as it lands on the ground. Ooh, that's Well,
I've already exhibited fire implementation on one target. Keep in mind all abilities you witness by an opponent, because some of them might have multiple quirks. Another UA example. The son of legendary hero Endeavor is currently living there with fire and ice.
Okay, so she's coming at me. Fuck. I'm gonna turn into an eagle and fly away.
As you take flight, her eyes go wide for a second before she sighs. That's 5, Akia.
Spy Lady immediately launches a string towards
See, but the thing
her.
is, everybody already knows I can do the shape shifting and the crystal, which are the only two I've shown in front of the teams.
Yeah.
Spy Lady immediately launches
She's commenting that that's the 5th one she's seen.
I know.
Immediately launches a string towards Sakayama, I believe, and immediately yanks her backwards out of the battle.
You're a bird. You can fly on your own, but when it comes down to it, you still are bound by one simple truth. You are at the mercy of the wind currents, aren't you, Akia?
Uh-oh.
She rolls her shoulder backwards as you watch her entire arm flex and expand. It's clear that she's flexing it as she pulls back for a swing.
Risa immediately shouts, "Down!"
Okay, fly closer to the floor as I can without crashing.
It's clear that she is not aiming for you as her wind up increases. You can feel an energy almost bursting off of her as she slings her entire body behind this one punch. A nat 1 is still a 13. Good thing she wasn't.
It's a critical failure.
Do I have to use speed to try and out?
Good God.
Run it?
Honestly, it doesn't quite matter. The main
is
thing is
critical
that the
failure,
sound
Jesus.
is almost deafening as the room almost detonates in terms of sound.
Mhm.
Tanya is sent hurtling backwards from the impact, from the force of it, as you will go from flying slightly low to having been slammed into the ground from the sheer force of the wind going past you.
God. It's a good thing you weren't flying higher, or else that would have been much more painful.
That would have been bad. Can I?
Yeah, you do not feel good, especially given the fact that eagles, hollow bones, you
Yep.
feel beaten up.
All right, I'm gonna.
Mhm.
Seeing that she was thrown back, I am going to turn into
By the way, Risa can
elephant in
see this.
charge. As
Risa
fast
can
as I
see that Tanya has just sprained her arm.
Can I
Ow.
charge her as an
Nope.
elephant?
I will say, everyone's ears are currently ringing, so even if
Mhm.
Risa calls it out, the Akia
Yeah.
might not hear it.
elephant's
You want Charger as an
Yeah,
elephant?
elephant. Yeah.
Mhm.
Do I need to roll speed to recover from being slammed into the ground?
I would say
Or
roll
what would that-
endurance.
Endurance?
Because you're currently feeling like someone just beat you into the ground with a 2x4.
As you are doing that, you can still clearly, despite the ringing, hear Tanya's voice call out, "Another UA example. The instructor, All Might."
Fucking hell. Risa immediately grabs onto the shoulder of the this dude here, and whispers that, "Oh, connection's been interrupted. Wow, thanks."
Oh, well, we can still hear you, so
Oh,
continue
that's
to
good.
describe.
All right.
We know the person who's directly next to Risa.
Yeah, she puts her hand on his shoulder and explains to him that the arm is sprained at the moment, and I'm assuming that they can actually put people in, I guess.
Tanya never said that you weren't allowed to.
That is true. So she's don't go by that logic. As he starts to step forwards, she also looks at Sophia and walks over to her and says, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
There
now
we
I was
go.
doing it.
Yeah, walks over to
No, I-
Sophia and says, your quirk could be very useful in this battle."
Mine?
She nods.
I don't know about that.
Versus someone with such incredible endurance, we need someone with incredible ability, with incredible strength to knock her out of her comfort zone, as it is. As is right now, none of us have
Sounds
the
like
physical
a
threat.
job for me.
You have
Oh,
a giant hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how my beast is gonna react if she does attack me.
Mhm.
I'm not able to completely control and tell it to stop.
You notice that Tanya's ear twitches slightly at that before she calls out, "You learn control where exactly?"
On the battlefield?
Or a school. Either one works. This one's both.
The gas
Hey,
guy
Sabina.
starts walking forwards, and you can hear in a very muffled tone. Technically, he's saying, "All right, this is gonna be a bit of a difficult one." What everyone else can hear is,
As Tanya does gesture towards Akia as she turns into an elephant and says, "It doesn't look like your friend here is hesitating at all." As she stands directly in the line of the charge, not even
Oh my
attempting to dodge.
I'm gonna hit her as hard as I can with as much speed as I can gain as an elephant.
So, charging forward, you can accumulate a considerable amount of speed across the 30 feet.
Though
As,
when I do hit her and like try and push her away so she doesn't stay on my trunk or on my tusks or whatever I am able to create.
Yeah, let's see how her dex is looking.
Not one, baby.
Since she's not using her arms for this.
Oh god.
All right, you charge forward. As you do it, as you make your attack, she jumps up and plants her foot directly into your trunk, using your forward momentum in order to hold her there as she walks up.
Can I grab her with my trunk and throw her?
Roll dex.
Apparently not.
Yeah. Yeah, she then walks right across your back, assumedly as you try to slow down, before hopping down behind you. Both of her arms still hanging loosely at her sides.
Fine. As soon as she jumps over me and walks off my back, I turn back into my human form and try and chuck a Senbon at her nerve points.
This
Ooh,
is a
smart.
random thing.
Yep.
But wouldn't you still be hitting by the weight of the elephant's momentum?
You would be sliding. Yeah, roll me dexterity.
Yeah, well, rolled an 8 on one
Oh.
of them. I assume it's still having difficulty reading.
Yeah.
8 followed by a 21.
Ooh, nice. So you are sliding quite a distance because you are massive. But as you do generate and throw one, your entire body spins, essentially. So you're like kind of hitting the ground as you're tumbling. The Senbon, though, flies true. Where
Okay.
exactly were you trying to hit?
Just trying to hit her in one of the points that Risa pointed out on me earlier.
Okie dokie. Let's go with one in the back.
It does manage to sink into her back as you hear a choked shout from her as her body collapses forward suddenly, her legs giving out from underneath her as she impacts against the ground. Good shot.
By the way,
Thanks,
roll me endurance.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
The elephant's weight versus a tiny person does not end well when you
Fucking
hit
excellent.
the wall at the force of an elephant's speed.
I would have been slowing myself down.
You threw the Senbon. That you threw it, and you're
You
tumbling.
prioritize throwing that and impacting. You managed to land a perfect shot in
Good.
exchange for impacting against the wall.
And that one hurt.
Yeah, you just
Endurance is-
crumpled against the wall, essentially, full force into it.
I can't breathe. I fucking can't breathe.
Dollhouse, wheel over to her and make sure that she's okay.
Gotcha. As you don't see his arms moving, but his wheelchair starts to move.
Oh god.
Yeah, is
What do I-
are Kumoko and the mask person moving in, or are they currently just watching the knockdown?
She's kind of moving back because her ability doesn't work very well against fire. He is kind of keeping his distance at the moment, but he is kind of trailing around her. Roll me sense real quick, Akio.
Oh crap. Okay, where's my sense button? There it is.
All right, no panic attack for you today.
Not only no
Oh,
panic
thank
attack, you rolled high enough to note that the Warhammer is beginning to softly glow.
Oh dear.
Oh shit. Can I? Oh fuck.
You can't breathe, let alone
I
speak.
can't breathe.
All right. Look at me.
And
I'm
in
focusing on
and-
that Warhammer right now.
I'm gonna turn into a beast and I jump
Okay.
in, trying to stomp on the hammer.
Oh, you
Okay,
going you gonna run
stomp
over
back.
and stomp on the hammer?
I'm gonna, I run, I transform, and I jump so I can land on the hammer.
Jesus.
Okay, I think it'd be Dex for that sort of aim.
Yep. Roll me a dex. Nice.
Yeah, that's going to be high enough to impact directly into it.
Mhm.
You are going to slam into it, and it is not going to freaking budge.
Oh shit.
This
Even
is-
in her hand or something.
How many tons do you weigh?
Probably a lot.
She's 16 feet tall and a huge.
mostly made
beast.
of muscle, so I would say probably very heavy.
Okay.
A couple
I'd
In
of
say,
order,
like,
to, in order
like-
to move that specific weapon, once it has been locked in place, I will ask you the more accurate one, the accurate question, to determine whether or not you have the way to do it. How many hundreds of tons of force did you just impact with?
Oh.
Not even slightly that
enough.
much.
my abilities are only.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Tanya is going to say, "Excellent eyes. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to destroy that. But here, I'm tired of using UA examples. How about an example a little bit closer to home?" Despite the fact that you can clearly see that her limbs are all incapacitated at this point, she begins to start to slowly stand up. Fiery red wires beginning to surround her.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
Now, a good question is, how hard is it to lift it?
to lift it, it's currently locked in place. Movement in any direction is going to take equivalent force, thanks to the powers of that particular weapon.
Cool. So yeah, you're not budging it. Akia is attempting to breathe, looks up, sees the horrifying red wires, and doesn't pass out, but she's now attempting to breathe faster.
Yeah, the wires the wires begin to start fading away, seeming almost invisible in the air. Though you note that they have an almost gold-like shimmer to them before they disappear. As you notice that she seems to slowly begin tensing her limbs. I haven't had to control myself like a marionette in years.
Dollhouse just starts laughing loudly in the background the moment she says marionette.
What is Risa seeing?
What's so funny, Hot Wheels?
You say not in years. That's me almost every week. Welcome to my life.
Congrats, your life sucks. You want a medal?
Yes, actually. I would like a metal sheet so I can eat. It's very hard to use hands when they just hand you those stupid platters with the indents.
I'm certain there's one at the bank. We could go and get it.
We are not robbing a bank, Mr. Torg.
While
I didn't say
I'm
rob.
having
I
my
said
panic
take.
attack,
Mm-hmm.
while I'm having my panic attack, can I have spikes shoot up from underneath her?
Roll me sense real quick.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's control, isn't
Yeah,
it? The
yeah.
ability to start collecting yourself.
You are in control of your situation as is right now. You are.
I am pushing my emotions down and away.
Yeah, you're very much so in control right now. Your lungs feel like somebody has put a 20-foot-ton elephant on top of it, but you are not crying.
By the way, is Risa still looking at the musculature?
Yeah, as she went down and started going back up again, she did switch her eyes back. The one eye is closed at the moment.
Okay. What she sees is that the wires technically didn't really disappear. There is currently wires like armature inside of her body moving her around for her.
Oh, you see her face look kind of grossed out slightly. Best idea is she switches her eyes back to normal. Don't get too close to her right now.
Yeah, if you do, I'll have to take a page from Akia's book when it comes to the needles.
Akia has a book? Why didn't you tell me?
Your stats just brought you to the battlefield, Grenade.
Huh?
I didn't really understand the situation with the weapon that Tanya had, but it's not on her, right? It's like laying.
No, it's on the ground. As you attempt to budget
standing.
and move it, it doesn't seem to even be slightly moving.
Then it
Even
begins.
if I grow to my full size.
Tanya?
Yeah, even at your full size and you're trying to lift it, it's like Hulk trying to lift Thor's hammer.
Well,
Did
eventually,
you
he
just
succeeds
dodge
himself.
all of the spikes I put on her?
Go on.
What spikes?
I
thought-
literally just said as she was over there that while I was trying to be in my panic attack, I was going to create spikes like I did with the
okay.
Stitcher.
Okay, so you're going to create spikes, and it's going to go all around her, and she's going to be pretty much unable to move very well. And she's like,
Well, it was right underneath her to like spike her, you know?
Ooh.
so are you going for the impale?
Yeah.
So let's see her dex then to see if she dodges. Given her recent injuries, that's a -2. So, even with a decrease by 2, she still gets a 19. She does hop up, though. It does manage to rip up the bottom of her good shoe, as well as reopen the wounds on the other foot, as she then begins to skid backwards, leaving behind a pair of bloody trails where she lands.
And Sophia?
Could I try to punch her while she's in the air?
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes, roll that.
Make a
I'm
melee
gonna ability, which is the 3 hit to really send her across.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, go for a roll that.
But I'm gonna move this way first so that I hit her over in this direction.
Yep. You immediately launch off of the weapon, using it as a way of propelling yourself before just punching her with all of your force.
That's
Okay.
3 attacks. Dum, dum, dum.
Yeah.
18, 15, 17.
You missed the last one.
Oh, let me.
Oh, wait, so... Okay, so the second attack is 8, yeah. because it's with disadvantage.
Yep.
So she did not proc her Royal Guard,
Mhm.
and we'll see if she dodges the first 1d20 plus. She's in the air, so she only gets a +4 now. Nope.
Oh,
Each
that's gonna hurt.
one, yeah. So the last one is an attack. Oh, what's that?
oh, rolling 10 damage dealt to self. Okay.
One moment.
But I thought that was only if I miss. But that I did miss in the last one though.
Yeah.
What do
I don't know why I
roll?
have a roll in the 10 there, but yeah. So yeah, so with advantage you would hit, and then the second one hits as well. Yeah.
You have to hit yourself with a roll worse than 10.
Yeah.
So that was an 8.
Yeah.
For that
So
one.
you
So,
do
like,
manage to hurt her, although Corn. Yeah. So that first hit, Corn's AFK at the moment, so I will be kind of. Oh,
Yeah.
there
She
he's back.
got off on
Hmm?
What happened?
I am back for a bit. I do have to handle something pretty soon, but I'll try and wrap this up. But
Yep.
let's see. She did not roll high enough to dodge, so she ends up taking, let's see, all but the third attack due to the fact that it's rolled with disadvantage, meaning ultimately a miss.
It
for the
did
third
hurt
one.
her very slightly. Not you, but Sophia. That third attack did hurt her slightly. Ooh, those
Tanya
first
does
2
go
shots
flying away,
into the
skidding across the ground.
I'm
As
gonna
a-
run. I'm gonna run up to her and tranquilizer.
You see a pot of tranquilizers running up to you.
Jesus
Vanilla.
Christ.
You skid across the ground as you look to your left. He's just running at you with a tranquilizer gun.
Yeah, she lets herself skid into the wall, impact against it heavily, and just watches as Torque pulls out the gun. So go ahead and pew her with it.
Pew, pew.
Nighty night.
Roll dex.
Please hit. Please do it.
Get that
Please
one.
hit
Please get that
yourself
one.
a nice one. That one. That one.
No, please, no, not once.
Wait, who's rolling dex?
You.
You.
are.
Oh, okay.
With the drink.
Hey.
Hey.
It lands directly in her arm. She looks down at it and then calmly states, "You're gonna need more than that, kid."
Really? Oh,
You
come on.
you
This
hear
thing
from the
normally works.
distance what sounds like a.
What?
You hear a muffled as a
Man?
capped
Yeah.
gas can hits the ground and does nothing. It's capped.
There's gonna be a pause as Tanya raises an eyebrow before looking to Sophia to see if she still has control over herself.
Do I?
Roll sense.
I'm not scared of her.
Mhm.
I swear to God, this
Roll sense. See whether or not your control is high over it.
Angry.
You are in more or less control over it. The beast is fighting as a self-preservation instinct simply because of that
Wait,
weapon.
it is worth noting, the beast has animalistic senses, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. How much of those senses does Sophia share when she's transformed?
Fear, anxiety, and the will to fight is
Okay.
what she.
It is worth noting, Tanya doesn't usually get along well with animals due to the fact that her general aura of power instills unending fear in them.
Oh shit.
Oh, if you
Yeah.
make me scared, that's
Yeah,
really
she-
weird.
yeah. It's just worth noting that she has a general energy to her that usually sets everything animalistic on edge.
Yeah.
Right
It's,
now, she's-
it's
Animalistic, demonic.
Mhm.
It's animalistic.
her
So-
beast
Wait,
is
and
fighting.
demonic?
And demonic.
It's
Uh-oh.
slightly
shit, you
demonic.
just made this worse.
Oh.
Yeah. There is not only is the beast scared, there's an energy about her that particularly. Listen, you impacted against her. That means that her blood is literally on your hand, right? Because she was already bleeding.
Sure.
Your hand burns.
Oh, I start shaking it wildly.
Your beast is afraid and is fighting to take control over you, but you are managing to you're barely on the line of control at the moment. That beast is very upset right now.
You okay
Is-
there, Transformer?
It's like wildly shaking its hand and then pacing back and forth from the weapon and looking at Tanya at the same time.
Okay.
And
The
I try to
weapon
wipe-
The weapon By the way, you can probably tell this because of your demonic aspect. It is one of the holiest things you have ever seen.
Oh shit! I'm not going near that shit. Never mind.
Yeah.
Akia, what were you trying to do?
Trying to calm down Saphinia's beast by walking up to her.
You notice the moment you get up that Dollhouse's arm from his chair grabs you, like, softly. Don't.
Yeah, she's got to control herself. But yeah, that.
But you do
Tanya-
notice that there are strings, like, touching your arm from his arm because he still
Oh,
can't
fuck.
move it.
Which arm?
The broken one that doesn't work right because that's
No,
the
no,
only
no.
arm he
Which
can
of
move.
her arms?
Oh, it would be my left one because I'm walking past him to go to the
Yeah.
center.
Roll me sense.
Which would be the one, yeah, that's the one that was broken and had the string in
Yeah,
it.
roll me sense. How long can you keep? You can
she
keep
can-
up your
she can crawl.
charade quite a while. you're
notice-
pushing everything down right
Yeah.
now.
Plus, you're able to notice Tanya has stood up.
Oh my god.
Oh,
She's moving
this is
slowly.
not good.
The
Yo, Transformer.
Hmm?
Calm down. Everything okay? Your hand looks hurt.
I'm gonna keep walking towards
How
Sophia.
am
I'm
I-
gonna try and
Okay.
shake off
You're
the
coming
string and walk
closer
towards
to me,
Sophia.
which is not okay. Let me see.
Dollhouse, what are you saying?
Akia, stop now.
She can't control herself. This is going to end badly for everyone in here if I don't go over there
You
and help
notice,
right now.
you notice that more strings are wrapping around you and you can't move.
Oh, roll me sense again, baby. How hard
Yeah.
can you
do I do
push
that
this?
Do I do
Roll at
disadvantage
disadvantage. You're in a bad. Oh my god.
now? Fuck,
Yeah.
I'm great at this.
Listen
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
as Dollhouse
Tanya's gonna
turns your head
pause.
as well, and
Yeah. Tanya then proceeds to shout, "Dollhouse, back down."
are you
Please.
sure?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
As
There's a shift
everything
as
releases around
the weapon disappears before suddenly reappearing in her hand before she's now standing in front of Akia. You okay?
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
I'm fine. I just need to get to Sophia. I need to get her to calm down.
She
You're
can't
right
rely on you. Yeah.
You are right next
Yeah.
to
But
my
it
best
does. Yeah.
Oh shit!
yeah.
Oh,
No, you are. Nope.
Oh dear.
I-
she is fucking terrified of you. You better fucking run right now, or else this is gonna go down to shit.
I'm punching again.
Oh shit. Okay.
questions.
She's she's
hold on,
got
hold on.
she
What was
has
that?
Hecate.
What was that? Dollhouse?
She's going to try to punch, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is shoving straight down right now.
Dollhouse may not be able to move, but that doesn't mean his strings can't.
That's true. Ooh, god.
Sin. Hecate.
Uh-huh.
Hecate is going to generate chains.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
They are going to surge outwards, latching down to every conceivable surface they can reach to, the walls, the ground, and the ceiling, in order to stop the blow from incoming. Sophia will be immobilized since
God
right
damn.
now.
Chains.
But actually, these are they are magical, but they're not angelic.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
So
Yes.
you do,
But yeah,
Sophia, you are getting now very tired. Your beast is getting tired, but the fear is kicking in severely. So your physical body is starting to get tired since you've done your super attack twice now,
Yeah.
and but your fear
uh,
is exceptionally high.
Tanya will move in front of Sophia before beginning to sit down calmly, set the weapon down, and say, "Can you calm yourself down? You're safe here. I'm not going to hurt her. I'm not going to hurt you. But you need to calm down. If you can't control it here, you can't control it out there. You want to protect her, right? You can only protect her when you're calm."
Let me sense real quick.
That yeah.
Mhm.
That registers the calm voice and the way that they're positioning themselves and
Mhm.
not looking at Akia
Mhm.
really helps with the situation.
So roll sense with advantage then.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's a 22. That's pretty good.
Yeah, you are able to be on top of your beast mind. You are now feeling the fatigue of your body as the beast is pretty much screaming its head off, but you are able to push it down slightly and kind of keep it where it is as your mind kind of surfaces over as you look at her.
Okay. Yeah, just
What
big black
about
eyes
me?
down at you as I.
What about me is scary right now?
Mm,
Can you tell me?
In a voice that sounds like it's parroted from a human voice, but yet like scratched off vinyl record, replies to you through the beast's mouth and says, "Something in your blood scares me."
I see. I apologize for that. I didn't think that that was what your body was composed of. 1 second. She's going to hold her hand to her chest for a moment before she doesn't seem as scary, though her wounds begin to bleed a little bit faster. There
Oof.
we go. I'm suppressing that element. Is that what was scaring you?
What do I feel from her?
You no longer feel the angelic energy. She's just got an overwhelming sense of power.
The beast is calmer now, almost as a sense of respect to the power, with less fear and more, almost bloodlust. Wants to prove itself, essentially, the beast under you.
Are you feeling better?
It doesn't matter, it's just you. She nods, quietly. It
Are you
feels-
good to continue training, or would you like to rest? You've already controlled it well thus far. If you'd like, you can stop now. I imagine this is quite the step forward, controlling yourself even in the face of an incredible threat.
I want to try harder.
Are you comfortable with continuing to train right now?
If everyone else is okay with it.
All right.
Shaggy head moves around to look at everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then, we can continue training. She then proceeds to stand up and hefts Hecate one more time, putting it in the same position it was before, holding it upright as it begins to hover by itself, before she reaches down to her gourd at her hip and drinks deeply from it. Her wounds very rapidly close in front of your eyes, every trace of the injury disappearing as even the blood begins to flake off and disappear in the air. All she has left is some shredded up clothing.
You see Akia turn into a tiger and start cuddling Safinia's leg.
Oh,
Safinia, you did good. Akia, you did good. The remainder of you will resume after a 10-minute break. This jug here is full of fluids, but I think I'd prefer to get a nice drink of water. Can't fight while dehydrated. Dollhouse.
Yep.
Do you want me to get you a drink, or do they have handicapped drinking stalls?
You see him move the broken arm, or I guess his arm that doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's moving like a puppet's arm would. Yeah, if you could get me something to drink, that'd be fantastic while I go over a few details.
Mhm.
Your combat training is good, but I want to compound the information they have now just as a way of continuing the written stuff while also still being in a...
Yeah. I get what you mean. I'm way more combat focused. If you can teach them the other things, I can stay satisfied knowing that at the very least, these two here have learned some pretty good lessons. Plus, old Metal Mouth over there. I'm pretty sure she's learned to start asking questions before she bites.
Agreed. I'm not exactly
get-
a teacher for that unless I'm actively possibly killing someone.
I get that.
Anyway, you see Dollhouse's hand clap by itself.
Before you get started, I actually do have to head out now to go handle some other stuff. So
Yeah,
this is like
you're
perfect
fine.
timing. Auf Wiedersehen. Hope the rest of the session is fun. Yeet.
All right. Now, to the rest of you while she goes and does that, quick pop quiz, because we all love those, right? As his his face is very straight, probably the straightest any of you have ever seen it.
Kids.
What's the difference between me and her power?
Obviously she survived a tranquilizer gun. Let's test it on you.
You can try, but it will be caught in midair.
Oh, nice! Let's try it. Shoots.
Oh God.
I guess I'll roll the dex, right?
Yeah.
Don't hurt the teacher.
Yep, roll dice. Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah, you see it get cut up in the middle of the air. I guess you're not using that again. Anyway, what's the major difference from your fight with me in comparison to her? Anyone?
Lisa steps forwards. She was a lot more combat focused. You were a lot more perspective focused.
And defensive.
First point to you. Second question. What is my quirk?
The masked man says, "Hmm."
Can you sign that to me real quick?
He looks kind of annoyed. He repeats it again before Risa just kind of says, he says you have strings. Sorry, his mask is very tensely woven.
You see Dollhouse go, wrong. That's not the full extent of the quirk. Each one of you has gotten random hints to my quirk this entire time. You've gotten hints for her quirk, and you've seen it in action. I will ask the first question again, and maybe you'll understand. What is the difference between our quirks?
Your strings are interwoven inside your body, and you can change from them.
She copies other people's quirks.
Oh, she does?
That's what she seems
Bingo! At least that's what it appears she does. To some degree, some people out there can copy your quirk and or the quirks of those around them. In her case, overwhelming power is an aspect of her quirk, but her quirk is multifaceted. My quirk, however, as he grabs a piece of stone and he gets rid of that arm that's typically broken, isn't string. Just because you see one aspect of it, as he gets his arm back and he points it upwards into two fingers. Point number 2. I was perspective based. After she is strength and combat focused. I can't combat teach you typically, because my quirk's a lot more dangerous than most people's due to me not being able to hold it back properly. If I was to go full bore, the likelihood is one of you would end up like Jack, and he's dead. My quirk teaching is for capture. However, I fell suit in that point. Point number 3. You never know your opponent's full quirk, so, as she taught you there, don't blindly charge. If possible, gain as much information about the enemy you're dealing with, and then confront them in a way that is in a safe-ish area if possible. However, in most situations, you won't get that luxury and you'll be dealing with what you dealt with today. Risa.
She looks at you.
Overdid your eyes. The entire time you were constantly flipping between your things trying to figure stuff out. If you're going to do that in a place not mid-combat. Stay on one eye as long as possible to compound as much information from that before switching to another one. You overstrained your eyesight and likely your eyes are blurry right now to some degree.
She nods. I need to place some ice on it.
Please do that soon. Strings, as she points to... I cannot remember her name. You tried to copy me to some degree, but your technique was too slow. Fix it.
Do you mean Minoko?
Yeah, Minoko. You, to some degree, you tried to learn from me. Don't. My quirk is a lot more than just the strings. The strings are like marionette strings by an invisible puppeteer, to some degree. Set up your webs beforehand or make them in your web when you make it above. And don't always go above, because then you become predictable.
Interesting.
Possibly pre-make some stuff and keep it on you at all times to be able to throw at your enemies to see what their quirk might be. Teresa's the one with the fangs, right?
The one with the fangs is Set. Oh my god, I can't.
Sakiyama.
Yeah, Sakiyama.
Sakiyama, your teeth. Pretty good, but you lack one thing. You lack confidence in that martial art you know.
Her eyes look down slightly, as you can see
It's
her kind of
okay.
gritting her teeth.
You see Dollhouse's hand soften a bit? Rely on yourself more. Don't rely on your quirk too much. I can't rely on mine in combat half the time, and I have to use the physical root strength that it applies with. Your teeth are pretty good. Possibly break up some rocks when you can, and or maybe have some brass knuckles that you can chomp into if necessary to turn into a projectile. You have good physical strength, most of you do. Your quirks are a means to an end, but your physicalities next to them are what's important. Tails.
He says forwards, slowly slurping on his ramen.
You've gotten good with your thinking, but you need to be less apprehensive about your actions. Again, you're a little Sun Wukong in the making, more or less. Your tail is a unique and interesting trait, however, it shouldn't be your only aspect that you should rely on, and that showed today. Work on it.
He nods.
To those who weren't able to combat yet, when they return later, I'll continue breaking people down. I may not be able to move, but the one eye I did was thankfully got healed. Is the sharpest tool any hero can have, is the sight and information you gather. If I may make a suggestion to all of you, in the future, if you're teamed up with Riksa, rely on her information, but don't over-rely on it. Use your own eyes to assess the situation next to hers and compound the information between the 2 or 5 of you, depending.
They nod. You hear Risa raise her hand slightly, and she says, what's his name? On Gas Mask. His name is... I am never going to be able to say this.
Narihito Taiki.
Narihito? Okay. She gestures to... Narihito here says that his main ability is to change the very air he breathes into another gas. Hence the projectile he threw. Unfortunately, he didn't quite uncap it first.
You see Dollhouse look at him, and you know how like some people get that very wide smile? Because he has information over Buck in his quirk, or his abilities. Don't be afraid to take off the gas mask.
He raises his eyebrow, and before muffledly saying, man.
I'm not mad. Let me
He shakes his head. Man.
It's bad?
He nods.
Can you control the gas possibly? Can you take it maybe into a tear gas or a possibility of sleeping gas?
He nods.
Then you are the most potent person here, and you could have taken her out in seconds.
He looks at his companions.
If you can breathe it, you can control it by how you breathe. Instead of breathing out of your nose, breathe out of your mouth and shove it as far forward as possible. Control your lungs and possibly take up an exercise routine that is increasing in your lungs' strength and ability to push air out and forwards. I knew of a man who had an ability similar to yours, except it was all gas that was corrosive. He found ways to implement impossible tools to help him expand it over an area, and found ways to supply his allies with means to defend against it. Possibly look into possibly finding a way. I forget. Do they have a in this school, Sin? Do they have a tech section?
They're probably a very small one. Same with chemistry.
Yeah, go to the tech and chemistry people and see if they can't help you find out some stuff about possibly making you extra masks to throw at people when you're in use of your quirk at its fullest.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You threw the canister and you also forgot to uncap it. In the heat of the moment, you seem to be losing yourself slightly. Breathe slowly. Recognize the situation. Things are a lot slower than people realize. It's just adrenaline makes everything register faster.
He nods.
To those who haven't been able to fight, when she gets back, we will be able to continue this. Point. Now for my final bit of this. Your quirks are dangerous to yourselves at times. Sophania,
Eh?
you did good today.
Oh. Thank you.
I think Tanya already said what she needed to for you. Akia, you need to work on your panic a bit. You could have killed her if she wasn't faster.
Wait, what do you mean I could have killed her?
He looks back at your crystals. The spikes. She may have extreme endurance, but you don't know its limits. There's a possibility, because even I don't know her limits, that you could have killed her if you had punctured the right areas.
She said go full bore.
Full bore or not, do keep in mind, regardless of if you're fighting someone. That wasn't full bore, that was panic. Full bore is taking them out. And sometimes killing them. But that wasn't full bore, that was your panic-induced hysteria. I'm a teacher, and I have eyes sharper than most. You can't put stuff like that past me that easily. Your fear of strings is going to need to be worked on by yourself, but let me be clear. As soon as I'm out of this wheelchair, you'll all be fighting me again, because as much as I would love to say it, Tanya's more close-ranged. You haven't had a long-ranged opponent yet.
Jack was all long range.
And that's what killed Washi, was a long-ranged opponent, not a short-ranged one. As his arm goes down back onto the wheelchair, my injuries are all self-sustained, not from Jack, but from me pushing my quirk too far. Learn your limits and push past them, but be smart about it, all of you. People like Tanya are a lot more common in this world than you would like to think. Mr. Torque.
Yeah, that's me.
What is your capability?
Well, I'm pretty good at making my babies, the grenades. I'm good with a shotgun. I'm good with tranquilizer. Well, this tranquilizer gun, something's off with it. It's not putting people to sleep.
Your potency isn't high enough. Check it.
You may shoot her.
Before you can, your arm lifts upwards like you are someone else's puppet. Don't shoot the other students. I've already had one idiot try to do that.
Ow. Well, I was just testing. It's not gonna hurt her. Not much, anyway.
Yeah, but I'd rather she stay awake for her lesson. Regardless, Mr. Torque, I'm gonna have you do something amazing until she gets back.
Oh? What?
Give me 100 push-ups, sit-ups, and about 50 squats.
Oh my god.
100 push-ups, sit-ups,
and 50 squats.
And 50 squats. Why?
Because I will give you more materials to make your babies.
You strike a tempting offer, Buster. You know what? You got a deal. That should be fun.
You all kind of see this kind of befuddled look. I can't believe that actually worked.
He just starts doing push-ups.
1 cannon dog, 2 cannon dog, 3 dog. Oh my goodness.
Roughly speaking, as Dollhouse kind of turns his wheelchair back to everyone, you all have very important and interesting quirks. However, how do you plan to, as he puts his arm back down, how do you plan to use them if you have to actually end a life? That's a question, as a hero, you need to ask yourself. Mr. Torque, I'm not asking you.
Ow. I was just going to put my input. I don't use a quirk.
I mean, you don't use a quirk, I'm aware, but what about them?
Mm-hmm.
Each quirk has its dangers and thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Rika, Tanya put an interesting question to you that you need to go get checked out. To the rest of you, your quirks are very interesting, but any ability, regardless of your physical capabilities or a quirk, have the possibility to do serious harm. You have to put aside that thought sometimes when you're using a fight. And there will be capabilities where the law cannot reach a person because they break every bit of it. To the point where the foundation itself is shattered. There's a point where you can't contain people, and at what point does the law contain to itself? And at what point do we have to go beyond that to do our job? As Dollhouse's face gets very, very serious, you are all students. None of you are heroes. The only one who's ever capable of being a hero was Washi. Prove me wrong. And then and then maybe our society will improve.
God damn. All right.
So inspiring. But I'm feeling the burn.
Fuck no.
I mean, it's not meant to be inspiring at the moment. It's meant to make them think.
Aki's just upset and angry right now.
Why are you angry?
Because you called her out.
As Dollhouse kind of rolls up to you, Akia, as he looks straight down at you, because I assume you're sitting.
Yeah, I'm kind of sitting next to Sophia and just chilling with her, making sure she's fine.
As he looks straight down at you and goes, the only person at fault for Washi's death was me. As his teacher, I take full responsibility. Do not beat yourself up over this. You know how, like, some people get that, like, very intent look in their eye, and it's just creepy? That's Dollhouse's eye.
She'll stare right back at you in your eyes and be like, I could have made a difference, but
You could have
didn't
gotten
because I
yourself
wasn't
killed, child.
there.
So would you like to have died too?
The more people, the less death.
As you see Dollhouse put his messed up hand, you weren't even able to properly function when I got there. You were screaming to help, but in reality you were shaking.
When Dollhouse didn't get there while I was there.
He got there when you were, technically.
Yeah, because you went. Didn't you go through?
I went through Washi's chest, and then you were screaming to have them help. And Dollhouse.
No, because Torque pulled me through the zipper before Dollhouse got there.
Oh, okay. Regardless, let me rephrase it slightly. You shake at the slightest sight of my strings, and you're shaking. You were shaking when I put them on you. The likelihood is Jack had a profound effect on you. And at that point, in the aftermath, shows some things. You weren't able to do very much, were you? I say this...
And I could. I could have done more. There was way more I could have done in that moment than what I had been able to achieve.
You feel a hand slap across your face pretty hard.
Oh shit, okay.
Survivor's guilt.
Ouch.
Can I storm away?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna just storm away.
You just see her stand up and start walking away.
Sophina holds a hand up towards Akia's back, but it doesn't follow.
Sophia.
Yes?
What you just witnessed was me slapping some sense into someone. I don't do this often, but when somebody's in so heavy of denial of something, they need to be brought back to life with cold reality sometimes. My apologies for you having to witness that. As his eye kind of softens a bit, but you kids need to understand that you can't save everyone.
Her hands fold in her lap as she looks at him in the eyes and says, I know, I just didn't want to see her hurt like that.
It's understandable, but she needs to see that she isn't at fault for his death. I am. I put y'all on this mission. I gave the go-ahead. I didn't think too much of it. I should have thought more. And on that part, he puts his hand on your head. I apologize for that. None of you should have been a part of that.
It wasn't your fault.
But it was because I gave the go-ahead. As your teacher, I should have had better insight. You both can say it's not my fault, but in the end, is the general not responsible for the soldiers he's losing or lost? In the end, people will blame him, and he will blame himself. Others will say it's their fault, but in reality, it's always the general who puts the soldiers down on the field.
Well,
And I will take.
then I'm glad
And
you're still alive.
plus, as odd as this may sound, as he scratches his chin with his hand, let the adult take care of the thing that hurts the worst. Y'all should at least be able to enjoy some of your youth.
This burns.
Regardless, Mr. Torque, by the way,
All right, yes.
what all are you able to make?
What do you mean?
Well, what do all your babies do?
Oh, give me a minute. Almost finished. Okay, sit up now. All right. My grenade.
Yes.
Oh, well, I have Mr. Piercing, which shoots pins and needles, but I can't use him in here, apparently. Mr. Offensive, which he explodes. Mr. Shy, he doesn't do much because he's shy. Mr. Boom Boom, a fragmentation. High velocity can blow this whole room up. Mr. Sparky, Mr. Burn, Mr. Fabulous, if you want to party, get some glitter. Mr. Stunny, stun grenade, Mr. Smoky, smoke grenade, and Mr. Melty, the assassin, not the assassin grenade, acid grenade.
The
And then I have
assassin.
Mr. Shoddy, my shotgun, which I actually use to shoot bats. That's. Wait a minute. There better not be a bat person here. They're dead.
No, we don't have anyone with a quirk that relates to bats and or to look like a bat, as far as I'm personally aware, out of the students in this facility. By the
Oh,
way,
man. These abs are killing me. I like it.
Oh my god.
Mr. What's the other teacher's name?
That guy, I think that would be Iku, not, yeah, Dokwa is gone, so this would actually be Iku, not Dokwa. This is Iku.
Go grab Akia, get her some water.
He nods. How was
As Dollhouse rolls back to the middle room, all of you, I recommend getting some water before the next piece starts. If any of you have extra questions for why I broke you down this way and why I have been acting a bit odd, don't be afraid. As Dollhouse kind of puts his one hand to his chin for a moment, it's not like I'm going anywhere specific.
I do have a bunch of questions, if you don't mind.
Fire away.
But I don't think these kitties should be around to hear it. How about you send them off for a bit?
Everyone go get water.
They all
Relax
nod.
for a moment. Stretch out.
Alright, well, I'm over with them too.
No pain, no game. I haven't done a workout like this ever since. Actually, I never did, so.
I mean, to be fair, you're physically fit, but you're not exactly controlled in that fitness. Now, what's your question?
From my time of being here and the time where I almost died, there's been a lot of issues regarding this one individual that Akia, dear, has been very mad about. Who is this Ron man?
Is it on?
Why is he so special?
He's a
It would
guy.
have been Onyx that I said.
Mhm.
Not Ron.
Oh,
Yeah.
whatever his name is.
He was another student who's MIA currently.
Well, that doesn't sound like it, because I think, if I remember correctly, you were fucking beating him up when we were in the villain's base.
I was giving him ample punishment due to his lack of understanding of the situation. None of these kids are heroes yet, and yet he actively put himself in danger. Though his quick thinking on the children's part is commendable, he should have informed someone who would have known about it, more so than he could maybe be amply pulled out of a situation he had no idea how to deal with.
Oh, so he messed up in that regard. Well, poor him.
Yes and no. He messed up on entering the thing, therefore he got reprimanded. He didn't, however, mess up via saving the children, which is something I told him to do.
Yeah, I was a bit shocked when he said he killed the children. Doesn't matter. Alright, there goes a setup 92.
You
Any other questions, Mr. Torque?
Probably more about this guy. Like, I'm a bit confused as to why people are hating him, and then he's doing this thing as well. Where is he? Do you know where he is?
I have people looking into it, but no. I
You know,
felt
he could be at the villain's hideout.
unlikely at the moment. Though if I get any information about someone who looks like him or him, I'll likely get it within a few weeks or a day, depending.
I mean, you have a person you can use to your advantage. Me. Now I'm
Mr.
gonna do his crunches.
Mr. Torque, do you know why you're keeping with a bunch of hero students even though you yourself don't really seem to care?
Cause I would have went to jail if I said no.
That, and to some degree, there's potential for you to be better. You don't really seem to care one way or the other, and maybe have you value life a little more. Don't know. Not really up to me. It's up to the
Boss man.
Octopus lady?
Not her, the other one.
Oh, good, because goddamn, she's hot. Ugh.
I'm going to act like I didn't hear that.
But
Plus,
as I was
Do
saying,
you realize she's in the corner over there, right?
Yeah, they're both in the corner.
looks
They've been
over.
watching this entire time.
uh-oh, don't beat me up again.
Anyone she's gonna beat up, it's me because I nearly got myself killed.
Oh, that must have been fun, hasn't it? Oh,
I haven't seen her since I haven't seen her since today. She hasn't even talked to me since she took me to the hospital.
I'm having a feeling all that anger towards you, as you claim, was put on me, and regardless, I kind of enjoyed it. But
There's a heavy possibility, yes.
But back to the thing I was saying. You do have someone you can use to your advantage to get into the villain's hideout and learn whatever.
We do or do not. It's not up to me, and I'm not going to send somebody to their death. Not anymore, anyway.
What if it's someone that doesn't really care if they die?
Hans just looks at you. You know how, like, some people get that blank stare in their eye when they hear something that kind of to them?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Buddy, I recommend you get in line then.
Ah, good. You know what? I like you, as he just finishes his last crunch
Oh my
and
God.
walks over to you, leaning over. You and I are gonna go places, since we don't really give a shit whether we die or not. We're gonna go good places.
Mr. Torque, how old are you now?
You know, age is just a number, but 15, 16.
As Dollhouse lifts his arm up and puts it on your shoulder,
Oh,
I recommend you take some time to slow down and enjoy the people around you, regardless of how insane you might be. You'll learn to at least enjoy those who move alongside you.
But Teach, I never had people to enjoy life with.
Well, as Dollhouse kind of looks at you and kind of gives you a very wide-mouthed smile, then this is your first opportunity. I recommend you getting to know Akia better, personally. She is a bit of an oddball, same with Sophia, but I think you would enjoy their company, personally. As he kind of puts his hand back towards his chin. Personally, those two have a lot they've dealt with, and they might be someone for you to bounce off of and learn a little more. So this is just a recommendation of Man who's maybe lived too long.
Hmm. You know, I'll take your word for it. I could use some better friends than the ones I had before.
To be fair, these ones are probably less likely to abandon you.
Great! We'll find out, won't we?
You don't have
But
kind
till
of
then-
slow. By the way, if I may make a suggestion,
Mm-hmm.
make a bomb, and he kind of gets close to you, that literally just covers somebody in silly string.
Why didn't I think of that? Yes! Oh,
Just
what
call
should I
that
call
the
him?
insulting bomb.
Mr. Insulting.
No, that would be a bomb full of salt.
Oh my god.
Time.
Uh,
Oh, what
that's
should I
the
call him?
assaulting bomb. Oh, if you change the lightning bomb to battery, you would have assault and battery.
I have an idea. Why not call it Mr. Sticky?
Mr. Sticky. I like it.
No.
I don't like how you said that. All right. Well, with
I shall begin my work. Thank you,
that
Teach.
deep thought.
If you have
in
any
our
more
brains.
exercise you want me to do, go ahead. Don't hesitate to ask.
Run me about 2 laps around the gym, and then have one of the 2 over there help you go grab some water since you're new to the facility.
I'll do it 3 times, mate. He starts running.
And Dollhouse just sits there and watches him.
All right. Well,
Tick tock, tick tock.
with that horrifying thought in our brains, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I know, again, it was a little bit late, but that actually allowed Mr. Torque a little bit of time to come see us. So this is a really fun episode. Hopefully you guys are going to be enjoying this series. We have a lot of things going to be doing. Probably next couple episodes are going to actually involve a lot of the NPCs as well as a lot of the characters. So hopefully we might get Moochie to join us too. But we shall see about that when it happens. But yeah, if you guys want to support this channel, look to the bottom left. We have our Patreon down there. Go ahead and pledge to that. And you actually get a nice little picture drawn up by like Lexi or Wally. And go on to Tables of Taurus if you guys want to see the rest of these episodes. We also do a Villains episode, which I'm going to be doing tomorrow at 7 o'clock p.m. PST on the dot on our Twitch. And go look at our description for YouTube, and you'll see our schedule for Twitch, or onto our actual Twitch, see our schedule, and join us for that. We stream about 5 times a week. So we'll see you